Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jay from TNJ, and welcome back to the Colorado Rockies franchise. Now, our Rockies team is not doing well this year in season number 2, but it's okay because the rebuild is now fully embraced. We did make a big trade last episode acquiring Keston Hiura, and I think that he is a guy that can be a part of the rebuild. He's only 25 years old and also a part of the future as far as our lineup goes, and I think he's going to be a future first baseman, but he does play a little second base. In real life, he switched over to first. So let's just check out our team in action with him at the MLB level on our squad for the first time this year as we return home towards the middle of the season as we near the All-Star break. The St. Louis Cardinals still have Nolan Arenado, obviously, but you never know what MLB The Show. They could trade him at any moment. And here is Samuel Hughes up to the plate. He is one of our subscriber recruits, and he gets it hit to the left side. Good to see our subscriber recruits around the MLB doing well. That brings up Arenado to the plate, and he will swing and miss at a 95-mile-an-hour outside sinker. German Marquez looks like he is going to get out of this inning with a ground ball to first base, and that is Paul Goldschmidt who grounds out. So who was at first base fielding that one? Well, it's Keston Hiura who comes up to the plate for his first at-bat here in the first inning, and he will swing and miss. And that will be his first at-bat as a Rocky. So we move all the way to the top of the sixth inning. St. Louis has a one-run lead, but here is Tommy Edman, the leadoff hitter for the St. Louis Cardinals. He goes deep, and that one will be his 15th home run of the season, and St. Louis takes the 2-run lead into the bottom of the sixth inning. Here is Blackmon at the plate now. He gets a nice pitch to hit. He drives it off of the wall in right field. That one should be a double, and it looks like it will be. Charlie Blackmon is second on our team in average this season behind Jose Iglesias, who's having a career year. That's going to bring up Hiura to the plate now. He is 0 for 1 here in his third at-bat of the game. He already drew a walk, and he hits one up the middle. That one should score one, and it looks like a throw will be on target just about, but it looks like Blackmon will come in. That was a long throw from center. But how about Harrison Bader? That was a dart to home plate, but it's just offline just a little bit, 2-1. That brings up Will Benson to the plate, who he just moved up here, and he smokes one up the middle, and that one is going to be another single here in this sixth inning. Hopefully we can make a move here and come back and tie this game up. That brings in Josh Fuentes, who we moved up from AAA. He hits one deep down the left field line, but it is just foul. And now that brings it to a 1-2 count. Cody Whitley on the mound for the Cardinals, and he gets some swing and miss at some high heat, and that one was out of the zone. Got him to chase as we move on to the bottom of the eighth inning. Charlie Blackmon is 2 for 3 in this game, and he gets an outside pitch and just goes up the box with it a little bit early on that one, but still manages to get a hit. He is 3 for 4 in this game. That brings up Hiura to the plate. He's got good power versus left, even though he's got that 99 power versus right, and he does pop it out into the infield, and that one should be an out as it is here in the bottom of the eighth inning. That's going to bring up Fuentes up to the plate with 2 outs as he gets one to hit. And that is a single. Then that is a good sign for us going forward. I think third base has just been a position we've struggled at so far in this franchise. Brendan Rodgers up to the plate now with 2 outs, men on first and second, and it's just going to be a high pop up to right field. And that one will be the third out of the inning. So we move this one on to the bottom of the ninth inning. St. Louis ends up adding 3 more runs to their score, making it 5-1 here in the ninth. And here is Garrett Hampson at the plate with 2 outs. He checks swings, but the blue says he goes around, and that one will do it here. It looks like the Rockies drop another one here, and we end up losing 5-1 to the Cardinals. So the trade deadline is nearing, and it looks like, we do see a couple of trades around the league. How about Moncada going back to the Rays here? He is 87 overall and 26 years old, hitting .298 this year. He goes for a few prospects. I'm not really sure if that trade is really going to pay any different for the White Sox, because then they end up trading Lance Lynn right away. They are either fully embracing the rebuild or just cleaning house a little bit. I'm not really sure. They're not really a rebuilding team, so I'm very, very shocked to see them trade 2 players away and both to their former teams. So Jose Iglesias does lead us in average, hitting .323, and we do near the trade deadline and the All-Star break. And just checking out some other guys, Will Benson's only hitting .204, but I'm not really concerned about him. I just want to see him get better right now. I'm not concerned about the numbers at this moment. So we move on to the futures game. We have one player playing in this game, and that is going to be Zach Veen, who is our top prospect in our organization. He will get the start in left field. He's hitting .271 this year, as he is going to probably need one more additional year in the minors before being ready for the show, but he should be a top prospect by the time he's ready to be moved up. So let's check out his at-bats. Here in his first at-bat, he's facing Alex Manoah, and he does swing at that inside slider. I think he was just fooled on that one. Justin Maxwell, one of our subscriber recruits, on the mound now in the fourth. And here is Veen. He drives this one to the warning track. He's got decent speed, and he will round second. Head to third with 79 speed. He is in there, safe with a triple. Now, I love Zach Veen because he's got good power from the left side of the plate. It's something that we don't have as well as consistency because, you know, Ryan McMahon has really good power from the left side, but he's just not consistent at all. So here is Veen up for his third at bat. That one is a swing and miss that time for his second strikeout of the game. And now here he is 1 for 3 at the plate here in the 7th 2-1 count. He swings that one out of the zone, and that one is a pop-up in foul territory, and it does get caught, as that one does do it for Zach Veen's day. He goes 1 for 4 with that triple, but his team does end up getting the win. But how about the number one prospect in baseball, James Lawson, one of our subscriber recruits? He is a Marlins catcher. He goes 5 for 5. A home run, 3 doubles, and 6 RBIs. He's going to be a problem when he gets up to the major leagues. So coming out of that game, we do get another trade proposal here, and this one is by way of the Royals, and they want Raimel Tapia. Now, one thing I like about Tapia is that he is a decent fielder. He's not the greatest of fielders, but he has good reaction, and he also is pretty clutch at the plate. I think he just hasn't put it all together consistently for us, but I still like him for depth. So they want to trade us Jimmy Govern, who is not a bad player, 23 years old, but he reminds me a lot of Brendan Rodgers. So from our side, we are going to say no. So now we move on to the Double-A All-Star game, and surprisingly, Zach Veen did not make this game. Maybe it's because he was in the Futures game. I'm not really sure, but Michael Toglia does make it. He is 22 years old, and he is a B potential 67 overall player. But now that we just drafted Muhammad Willingham, I think that his first base potential has been kind of a little bit just halted for a second, because now he's got Willingham to compete with, and Willingham is just an absolute monster. I'm going to need to see some progression from Toglia's game, especially in the power department, because pitches like that right there should be out of the park, or at least off of the wall or a double or over the right fielder's head. That one was perfect right there. Early timing, but still, the reticle was there, and he hit that on the screws. Same as this one, but this was just a late swing. It's just a fly ball to left field. I definitely want to get in depth with some of the other guys that are in our organization that aren't the top guys, like Zach Veen, like Zion Storm, like the other guys like Willingham, but I want to get into the guys that may be dark horses to possibly be some potential all-stars in the future, or potential starters for our team in the future. Who knows? I want to definitely check out those guys. Toglia is one of them. So here he is 0 for 3 at the plate now in his fourth at-bat. This one is grooved deep to left field, but that's what I'm talking about. That's a pitch you got to drive. It was good timing. He had good contact on it, but did not have enough power. It's 367 to left field. That one should have been driven off the wall, or at least a home run. But he goes 0 for 4 in this game. I definitely want to see him develop a little bit more. He's still got 2 years of development just about. But by the time that ends up being, he's going to be about 27 years old pretty much. And we'll see what happens with him. I'm excited to see the future for a lot of these prospects. So now we move on to the AAA All-Star game. We're going through each All-Star game here, as we do have a couple of guys. Noah Sayer is interesting. He is C potential, 23 years old, 70 overall. One thing I like about him is that he is a closer and a relief pitcher. We need bullpen help. And I think that he could be a future guy in our bullpen, probably not the closer, because we do have Trez Jenkins, who won Player of the Year in our organization last year. He is very good. He's at the AA level right now. So we do have a lone all-star here at the AAA level as far as offense goes. It's Jonathan Champion. He is a third baseman. He also plays outfield a little bit. He is pretty good. He's hitting .315 this year, so surprising a lot of people. And here he goes to the right side here in his only at-bat of the game. And that one will be a ground ball to first. And we end up losing this game 2-3 here to the AAA East All-Stars. And in the AAA, at the AAA level, that actually decides home field advantage for their World Series. So now we move on to the MLB All-Star Game. You see the game still has the Colorado logo, but we are in LA for this All-Star Game. And we have a surprise All-Star, and I think maybe not a surprise All-Star, but surprising to the rest of the MLB coming into this season, and it's Jose Iglesias. He's hitting over .320, but here are the NL and AL starters as Iglesias does not start. Despite hitting over Corey Seager's average, he gets to start at shortstop. He is now a Chicago Cubs shortstop, and Trevor Story makes the All-Star Game. So our former shortstop makes it for Cleveland. And then how about Bo Tito for the Texas Rangers? Congrats if you are him. One of our subscriber recruits already makes the All-Star Game, and he is a starter in year number 1. I do want to point out a couple of other guys. How about Manny Machado and Tatis both making the All-Star Game? It could be interesting if the Padres and the Dodgers end up playing in maybe the NLCS. That would be amazing. But looking at, how our team looks this year, Jose Iglesias is an all-star, but we definitely need to catch up to teams like the Dodgers and the Padres. We definitely have a couple of years to do that. But looking at what I mean by that, Clayton Kershaw is 15-0. 15-0. He is on track to have the greatest pitching season in MLB history. We're going to have to pay close attention to this because I want to see what he's going to end up being and if the Dodgers end up winning the World Series again. So Jose Iglesias comes up in the 9th inning for his only at-bat of this game. He's our only all-star, and rightfully so. We are not a good team. And here he works it full to Liam Hendricks, and the 12th pitch of the at-bat will be a pop-up to center field, and that one will be camped under, and that is an out. And Mookie Betts, a center field. I think that was him in the center field. No, that's probably not. It looks like Byron. Is that Byron Buxton? I have no idea who that is in center field. Yeah, that was Byron Buxton for the AL. He camps under that one. Jose Iglesias ends up only getting one at bat. And the AL actually wins 14-2. I have no idea why the game kept Brandon Woodruff in for 8 2/3 innings, but they did. And we end up losing that game. So another trade proposal here before the trade deadline. Looks like a lot of teams are looking to probably pluck away a lot of our guys since we are rebuilding. And it looks like they want Garrett Hampson, and that's the Mets for Jose Peraza. Peraza is a good player, but I really like Hampson right now. And Hampson right now is our center fielder. I'm thinking about really changing his position over to center field. I'm sure his overall might take a hit, or it might go up, because I remember when we did that for Charlie Blackmon, his overall went up going from right field to left field, and that might happen for Garrett Hampson, or it might be the opposite. So as we head into the end of the month of July, I really want to take a look at starting pitching because it is just not doing well right now. German Marquez is actually doing decent, but he's only 2-10. I mean, we don't have anybody that's over 3 wins on the season except for Derek Rodriguez and Mike Leake. I mean, our top 2 rotation guys, German Marquez and John Gray, both only have 2 wins each. Leake is actually pitching pretty well, but I don't expect that to, last that long. He's just a filler guy right now. Brian Salmon's 0-7. I mean, just terrible. And then Austin Gomber, I have no idea what's wrong with him. Every single time we have him at the major league level, he seems to just do so poorly. I mean, at AAA, he was doing decently, but now after 3 starts, he's got already a 2.07 whip, 0-2 in 18 innings pitched. I mean, it is just all sad for Austin Gomber. We have tried to justify this Nolan Arenado trade, but it has just not worked out in this series. So I decide to look at some young pitchers. I decide to use the trade or at least a player finder to look for some young pitchers who we can possibly trade for. Joey Wentz is the top candidate. I want a guy that is at least 80 potential and is only 23 or less years old. I kind of want somebody that's younger than 23, but 23 is the ceiling. Grayson Rodriguez is interesting, but the Orioles just actually traded for Tristan McKenzie, so I'm thinking that, realistically, they're probably not looking to trade any of their young players. There is a guy, Henry Tanaka, but he is a player, game-generated player. We go down to Oscar Noah. Is that how you say his name? I don't see a lot of Braves games. Sorry about that. 150 whip, 7-8 overall. He is a pretty decent pitcher. But then we settle on one of our subscriber recruits here, Ramel Koffer. We're going to call him Ramel Koffer. Let me know down in the comment section if that's you. Is it Koffer? I think it's Ramel Koffer. He ends up being a pitcher that's interesting. We've been keeping tabs on him. He started out actually 0-10, which is bad, but he's actually not a bad pitcher. He's B potential 74 overall. He plays on a bad Seattle Mariners team who is also rebuilding. And look at the cost control. I mean, he's under control for the next, 7 years that is. So at 3-10, I don't really care about the record. I mean, we're bad as it is right now. And I want to try to deal for him and see if we can pull this trade off. Now, the first candidate is Ryan McMahon. We did just trade for Keston Hiura, and it does not look like Ryan McMahon's going to be our future at first base. He definitely disappointed me. Last year, he hit pretty good. Not great, but pretty good. 257 with 333 on base percentage. And he did actually hit 17 home runs, but coming from a first baseman, I'm expecting more than 17 home runs. And he hit 4 this season. That's just not going to cut it. And I just don't see a spot for him, especially with Muhammad Willingham and Keston Hiura at first base. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Then there's Ty Colbreth, who is a pretty good starting pitcher, but has not worked out for us. He's definitely doing terrible for us, but he's a B potential and still got some youth to him. And then there's Ethan King, a 24-year-old second baseman. And one of our subscriber recruits, we will end up trading you guys. Don't feel bad if I end up trading some of you subscriber recruits or trading for. It's just business. It's just business. Let's just keep it at that. And those 3 guys do execute the trade. We end up getting Koffer. That is an excellent deal in my opinion, because we trade away guys that maybe are just right now not a good fit for our organization, and we end up getting a young pitching prospect right back. So then we decide to look at Austin Gomber. Now, I think it's time to really just realize what's going on here with this trade. Austin Gomber is just not worked out. The Nolan Arenado trade has just not worked out in our favor at all. He's doing well in St. Louis, and our pieces we got back just aren't cutting it. Gomber actually does field a lot of offers. And you just see he gets Julio Rodriguez back, but that's not realistic. Rodriguez is like the number 4 or 5 prospect in baseball. Definitely not going to make that move. I'm going to make sure I'm realistic. The Yankees did offer Trey Monroe. He's one of our subscriber recruits. Very good, but there is no way you trade somebody this good for Austin Gomber. So that's just an example. I just want you guys to be careful when playing your franchises. Try not to abuse the computer. I mean, yes, you can do it if you want to, but being realistic is a lot more fun, to be honest. But we do get an offer for Brian Rocchio. Now, I like Brian Rocchio, and the reason why is because he's young, he's 20 years old, and he's a good defensive shortstop. Now, we already made a trade as far as shortstop with the Indians. We traded Trevor Story to them, but I just look at their depth chart, and they have so much depth at shortstop. It makes a lot of sense for them to trade for Gomber. They need another pitcher, and we need some more depth guys, and we need some good prospects. So we trade for Rocchio. We do acquire a excellent shortstop for our future, 20 years old. And you can just see right now, he's actually rated higher than Brendan Rodgers, and he's still 5 years younger. So that should actually be the shortstop of the future right there in Brian Rocchio. I think that it's going to work out for us. And just looking at our team right now, we have a couple of middle infielders that could potentially be our future there. Zion Storm, Brian Rocchio now. Brendan Rodgers is on the edge right now. I don't really know if he's going to actually be on our squad in the future. And then there's also Ryan Valade, who I really, really like. He's at the AA level as well. So let's check out Rocchio's debut here at the AA level for us. We are playing at Dunkin' Donuts Park. This is the actual home field of the Hartford Yard Goats in real life. So I decided to import these stadiums for our AAA and AA affiliates. I didn't do it for every minor league team, but a few. So we will see how this goes in his debut. He starts out 0 for 2 now with the man on first base. Looks like this is a hit and run situation, but a shot up the middle, and it's actually going to be a swipe tag. The umpire actually calls the runner out. It didn't look like he tagged him. As that moves us on to his 4th at bat. That makes him 0 for 3. Facing Adam Liu, 2-1 count, and an off-speed pitch over the middle is driven to left field. That one gets all the way to the wall, and Rockies starts out his Hartford Yard Goat career with a double down the left field line, going 1 for 4 in this game. But it's a good sign. He is a defensive guy, and he's kind of smaller as well, but I like him. He's a pretty good player. So 1 for 4 now in his 5th at bat. Now in the 8th inning, he goes deep to left field, and that one makes it over the wall. Every single debut it seems like we have, there's a home run. This one only goes 347 feet. That is a short wall in left field in this stadium, but Rockies takes advantage. That one will be a home run, and I love the future now. I see a lot of good prospects in our organization at pretty much every position. But that's the thing. It's all potential right now. There's no definitives in baseball. You can have a top prospect in baseball and move them up, and then they absolutely suck. I mean, it's happened so many times in real life. The same thing could happen with us, but I like the potential out of Rockies. Now we move on to the 9th inning. I want to check out Trez Jenkins, who won Minor Leaguer of the Year for us last year. He got that +5 potential boost, and I want to see what he's got. We haven't played with him at all so far this series. So here with 2 outs in the 9th inning, he has an outside slider, and he is just looking at the plate. 7-1 victory for Hartford. Rockies with a good debut, goes 2 for 5. I like the middle infield that we have at this AA level. It's Ryan Valade, Zion Storm, and Rockies. All 3 of those guys will rotate in the lineup. I definitely want to get those guys some rest, because sometimes if you don't rest these guys, that's when their stats start to really go down, and that's when you start to see fatigue kick in and start declining their attributes as well. So we get one last trade offer before the trade deadline, and this is going to be Vince Velasquez, who 29 years old, not a bad relief pitcher, but definitely just not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking to trade John Gray. I like John Gray. I might even keep him for the remainder of his career. He is a lifelong Rocky so far. I love having lifelong players as long as they contribute and do well, and we will decline that trade. But we move on to the end of the July month, and it looks like our AA team is not doing well. Our AAA team is in last place, and our MLB team is also on track to be the #1 pick in next year's draft. Now, I'm not going to tank on purpose, but man, would it be incredible to have the #1 pick? We'll have to see how this season goes for the rest of the year. I'm definitely going to try to win. I'm not going to make any stupid moves or anything like trades or anything like that. I'm going to stick with this team, and look what we are going to see in the next episode. Ramel Koffer will go up against Madison Bumgarner in his MLB debut with the Rockies. He's already got, 13 starts under his belt, and now he will have his first with the Rockies. I love that trade. Let me know what you guys think of these trades. Bringing in Brian Rocchio, trading away Austin Gomber, and then also trading away Ryan McMahon and a couple of other guys to get Koffer. I like Koffer. He's a left-handed guy. We wanted another left-handed starter in our rotation, and we finally got it. So that's going to do it here. As we continue next episode, we will check out the MLB levels some more before the end of the season. I want to just check out the minor leagues in a couple of episodes as well. So just doing some prospect check-ins as well. So hit subscribe, hit that like button, stay tuned. Let's get it. Let's go.
I like getting money, I got time to get it. Target on me, so my car's a tenant. Dancing with the devil, I don't bargain with it. Bible in the dash, and the stick is with it. And I hit the 4-5 on the west side. But I'm from the east side, this how we slide. This how we ride, yeah, this how we ride.